Here we go. Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. And today is a special day here on Social Intercourse because we have our first guest with us, Michelle. And she's going to, well, why don't you tell us about you?
Oh no, that's so hard. Okay, so hello, my name is Michelle Nguyen. I am owner of Just Jinx'd. I make little cement cuties, so I really love plants, and I have one right here. It doesn't have a plant in it, but it's a little grumpy oddish. And I make little planters. This is one of the things that I start my big projects that I started when COVID hit, and as a reaction to things happening in my work life. Just Jinx, I started last year in 2022. What's this year? 2023,
Yeah.
right?
You just
I
started
was
last year?
yeah. I started last year at the beginning of
Oh,
January. I was having horrible work reviews, right, due to ADHD. They're like, You're not submitting things on time, and random things like that." And I was like, "No!" And work just got very, very toxic. And at the same time, my brother was actually being abused in the workplace, and I was like, "That's ridiculous," because they were making fun of his accent. He has a deaf autistic accent.
uh-huh.
They were treating him horribly there because they knew that he was on the autism spectrum, and
That's awful.
yeah, they were taking advantage of that. So I was like, you know what, I'm tired of capitalism, whatever the terminology is.
Mhm.
And I started Just Jinx with the dream of hopefully one day opening a store and hiring the disabled community.
Mhm.
That's a dream,
That
one
that
day.
makes me pissed off. I'm sorry, because I worked in the autism community for a very, very long time. So
Hmm.
that just, oh, I'm like getting really like heated right now. Well, so your brother's not, is he still in the same workplace or
No,
did?
he jumped from two workplaces then, but I've actually met with um it's like a restaurant, and
Okay.
they deliver Chinese food, homemade Chinese food throughout the community. And I met them through GAC, which is a General Austin Asian community for
Mhm.
businesses, right? And I met both of the founders there, Min and Angel, and they were talking about how they simplified their work process into they have a division for every act of labor that need to be done, so that some people only do cooking, they only
Uh,
need to do packing, and other people only do delivery. And it was just so simple. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get my brother in that. And he applied, and they accepted him. They didn't say anything about disabilities.
mhm.
They didn't ask about his speech or anything. He's only packing, and so
That's
he started
awesome.
working there, and he loves it. Everybody treats him amazingly. I'm like,
So
That's an
are
inspiration
you
for
are
me."
you older sister or younger
Yes,
sister?
I'm the oldest of
'Cause you're
three.
giving me older sister vibes right now, like
Yes, yes.
completely oldest that you it's my sister is the oldest, and
Hmm.
she does the same kind of thing. She's always looking out for us. I'm a little more
Hmm.
selfish as a middle child, but that's awesome. So, and then what were you doing before Just Jinx then?
I'm still working a full-time job, so I work in IT. That's what I went to college for. I would explain it, but it's very too uh
Yeah, me, I see.
blanking out for most people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I work in IT. That's the best way, high level way to explain something.
But you know what's interesting? I know a lot of people who are in IT who
Hmm.
also do something very creative on the side.
Hmm.
So most people, it must be something in the way the brain works. You're very creative, and
Yes, yes.
IT just everyone does IT and then has this creative mind.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, so for me, I was always an art person growing up, right? So I was always painting, I was always drawing,
mhm,
right? And then when I started college, I basically had to give up all my hobbies because I noticed I'm refusing to do my college work. I didn't want to do anything, and most of it was stemmed back to ADHD. If you're
Hmm.
forced to do something, you really, really don't want to do it.
Listen, I dropped out of college because of my ADHD, so
Yeah,
I didn't
and
realize I had ADHD, but
yeah, I didn't. I knew I had ADHD because I was diagnosed as a child, right?
uh,
But like my mom took off all medicines, and like for some reason, it was just so weird. My sister and I are both diagnosed with ADHD, but for we took all advanced classes, even though I was lazy. I'm
mhm.
the lazy part of ADHD. I didn't study. I didn't read books. I didn't want to do my homework, and somehow I graduated high school with honor.
Me too. Well, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't graduate with honors, but I graduated.
Yeah,
So,
and then, when I went to college, like, it was, like, very hard depression, like, I had a lot of, identity issues, right?
mhm.
Because I was like, "I have ADHD, and I'm still here with all the normal people, neurodivergent folks." No, neurotypical, we're
Yeah,
neurodivergent,
we're neurodivergent. Yeah.
and it like, they're just so smart and everything, and they're always saying, "Oh, I never read, I never study," but I'm just like, I literally have to read this page over and over again for me to with
Hmm.
with,
Fully
obtain
processed.
information that
Yeah.
fully process anything. And when you were talking about the IT stuff earlier, yeah, yeah, because I'm constantly interacting with customers. I'm looking at a computer screen all day, and you just feel like, and you know, you are a part of the toolkit. It's easily replaceable. But when I started Just Jinx, is nobody can do that to me. I can do whatever
Right.
I want. I have all the creativity to myself, right? And I just can actually be myself. I'm not being somebody that somebody else
Hmm.
is telling me to be.
Now, going back to grumpy, is that what you said it was? Your
The
platform?
grumpy oddish, yeah, or
Is that?
something else.
I'm really. I don't. Is that a Pokemon character?
Yeah, this is the Pokemon character. It's
Okay.
a little leaf. It's supposed to be an iris plant, and it's like
So
you put like leaves in it.
yeah,
It's more easily see if I actually had leaves
let's
in here, but I don't
let's
have it
let's show
here.
more of your products. Dave, can you put up a picture of her products because she's got some great things. Yeah, I love those
Yes.
they like succulent products.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
love those.
These 2 are actually something that's very special to me, and I didn't realize it until, afterwards, but the succulents were how I actually started, getting into the plant community,
Okay.
and so it's kind of funny that my dog, Toby, he actually has, a lot of, what's it called? Skin flaking
Uh-huh.
dermatitis, and so one of the ways that people, online was saying to fix it was to, introduce, humidity into the house. And so, I had to buy all these, plants that accept humidity because I'm like, I'm not gonna have a humidifier in my house without a reason to have it aside from the dog, even though he desperately needed it. I think it was
Uh-huh.
just allergies at the time. And so I bought a lot of these plants. They're called colothia, and they're the most
Okay.
finicky thing ever. They died. Uh, but that's how I got into the plant community. So I
Oh, because
really
your dog.
love
I love it.
succulents, right? And the fact that these are cement, they don't die.
So that's I kill succulents, and everyone's like, you can't kill succulents. I
You
kill
can't
succulents.
see I
I
kill them
kill
too.
air plants. Air plants
Mhm.
don't survive. So yeah, these are perfect because they don't die.
Yeah, and the
And
bottom one are, lions or, in Vietnamese, they're called lung, and then I think in Chinese, either Mandarin or Cantonese, there's called, shishi. Or
mhm,
I'm probably saying it wrong, so don't quote me on that. I just know it's SHI. And this
okay.
was actually really important to me as an Asian, right? Because growing up, all I did was lion dancing. Even though the true
Oh,
term for me was I did symbols and dragons. So it's
uh-huh.
the characters on the sticks, right? But I did that all growing up, and it was just something that relates to me, and I introduced this product this year actually during Lunar New Year's, and it was a hit. And I was like, it made me so prideful as an Asian that people are loving them and they're appreciating them, right?
Mhm.
And so I these 2 are some products that I'm very,
Yeah.
very proud of.
Dave, the next slide, please. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
this
it's
is
coming.
this is one of my favorite products. This is actually a picture from one of my most not popular. I can't think of the word around one of my charity customers. His name is Brandon, and his girlfriend's name is Mari, and they bought this planter
Mhm.
at one of my plant events in Cedar Park. Called Northside Plant Market, and it is like one of my best sellers at events, and people just love it. They it's a butt planter,
Mhm.
if you don't know, and on top of it is a booby cactus. It's if you look at the shape of it, they look like boobs.
They're called booby cactuses? Okay,
Yes,
I know
they're called.
nothing about plants. So
Yeah. So this is a butt planter with a booby cactus, and I started this product. My best friend actually showed it to me, and I'll one of the big things that I've noticed in myself is that at the time I wasn't really body positive. I hated myself for who I am, and I introduced this at a plant events and or any events that I went to, and they're like, "You make me feel so happy that you're just telling people that whatever body shape or skin tone or whatever you are, it's acceptable for who they are," and I just love this product.
I
It's
love
just.
that. I love that because I was wondering because I've seen a lot of your products and you had a
Mhm,
lot of Pokemon figurines and the
mhm,
succulents and female figures. And I was like, I
mhm.
wonder why those things, like what made you want to do those things. But now you just explained the body
Yes.
positive. Because
Yeah, every single product that I make and sell it's a part of me and who I am
Mhm,
as a person. So I'm addicted to Pokemon, even though I don't play any of the games, right? So that's why I have those products. And then anything that was body parts is body positivity. And then anything funny, I just try to laugh things off. And that's
mhm.
how I react as a person.
I
So,
love it. I love it. Because I didn't. I don't think I ever asked you why before. Because we've met and we've just
mhm.
seen each other quite often. Next slide is. Oh, there you are with your boobie, or no, not boobie,
With a
your
butt. Yes.
your butt planter. I love it. And this was from, I think you said Lunar New Year.
No, this is I think is one of my Frida Friday
Oh,
events.
okay.
It's somewhere in downtown. I think it was at Brewatorium. I might be wrong on that. I just know it was a brewery.
Okay.
And this was actually one of my first events that I made amazing sales. And I still go through a struggle every day as a business owner. Was am I making enough money?
Hmm.
Right. And this event, I had my brother and my boyfriend come to the event. My mom didn't start coming at this time, but I wasn't by myself at this event, and it was just so motivating. And I've actually met a lot of amazing sellers at this market.
Oh, that's
It,
awesome. Yeah, I've met your mom too. I love your mom. She is
yeah.
so sweet. I love her.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that because we met doing markets, vending at the
Hmm.
same markets, and um, my mom helps me, your mom helps you, and it's kind of like it's a given. Our moms have to help us, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Dave, for the slides.
Oh, here's Jean.
Oh,
This
so
so she actually likes to climb on my desk.
and
This
this
is
is
little
she's
Jinxie. This
the
is the
name of.
inspiration.
Yeah, I love that. I love because I was wondering, is Jinx gonna make an appearance? I'm so glad
Yes.
she did.
Yes.
Hi, Jinx.
So the meaning behind our name, Just Jinx, was during COVID. I had ceramic planters. She's saying hello, right? And she would intentionally. That's why we named her Jinx. She's a very intentional cat. She would intentionally run into all our planters and break them. She also loves running into random rooms and going into places she's not supposed to be. She loves to annoy me. Like when I'm working or right now, she just pops out of nowhere and lays on my keyboard in my mouth. And so when we were coming up with a name, we are just like, this is so hard. How are we going to do something that
Mhm,
represents us as a family and as a person or anything that we do? Because I know that I wanted to. I already knew that I wanted to bring body positivity and funny stuff in, and I was like, you know what? How about just Jinx, right? And hopefully she didn't destroy anything. She's fine. Okay. But
She's like, no,
so we did.
I gotta do something right now.
Yeah, she has to do something right now. She's laying on my keyboard. She's about to go for my mouth. She's about to knock this off the table. Hopefully she doesn't do that. And uh we wanted something to bring love to other people. And so I was like, okay, so a flower, a cat. She likes pink. I like pink. And so we were like, okay, we're just Jinxed. And so instead of the negative aspect of Jinx, which a lot of people associate it with, instead of being negative, we wanted to be just Jinx as in with love.
Hmm.
Everything is with love and happiness. And as much as I don't like to admit it, she brings me a lot of happiness, even though we're literally always bickering. Like she's
Well,
very
that's just,
chatty.
well, that's how cats are, right? They
Yeah,
bring us joy by, being the little devils they are.
yes,
So,
yes. She's
I mean, how
super
much
adorable.
joy do cats bring to people through like TikToks and just videos? What is it, like 14 million the
Yes, 14
video
million views or something like that, and literally all they're doing is rolling around or laying there
or destroying things. So,
or destroy things. Yes,
and it's funny and
it
cute.
is funny. Like they can be doing something so simple and they just go viral for it.
So, do you only have Jinx or do you have
I
other?
have 5 pets.
Oh, wow,
Right.
okay.
So I have 2 dogs and then 3 cats, and then Jinx actually has a twin who is the complete opposite by personality. She's so sweet. But when she misbehaves, it's without intention. She's literally my replica. She's very clumsy. She's always like knocking over things, right? But Jinx, when she knocks over things, it's intentional. Her sister, however, is very unintentional.
I love that you have 5 pets. I wish I could
Yes,
have that many. The
yes.
most I've had is two, at one time was 2 or 3, maybe. I
Mhm.
can't. Well, one was my roommate's pet, but he was mine too. I
Mhm.
took him as my nephew. But, um, yeah. So thanks, Jinx. I don't know if Jinx is still there.
She is. She's being my keyboard right now.
Going back to, because you said the word lion in Vietnamese. So
Mhm.
you're Vietnamese. Do you speak more Vietnamese or?
No, I don't. I don't actually. I speak very, very little, and it's
Mhm.
enough to get me by in a conversation. So if I were to go in America, at least, if I were go to the store and no one would speak English, I can get by. I can have a conversation with them. Working level, no. And the main reason behind this was my dad. He's a boat person. Meaning, he came over on boat during the war. He was a refugee and he grew up here and it was in Houston and it wasn't really the good part of Houston and everything in his entire experience he was constantly being bullied by the Americans and he had a hard time with anything Vietnamese, right? And so he had to build this personality and not personality but a persona of being an American. He basically had to throw away all of his
Right.
heritage. And so growing up, he's like, my kids aren't going to be speaking Vietnamese. But we did go to Buddhist school and we did martial arts and we went to Vietnamese school. Somehow I got to 8th grade in Vietnamese school, but I don't know how I did that. So a funny story behind this. I love telling it, but my mom hates it. My mom was vice principal at the school, and this is a fun. I think it's hilarious, funny. We were taking an exam, and my friends and we were constantly cheating in that class. This was the 8th grade out class I was talking about, and the exam question in Vietnamese it said I love my mom with all my blank.
Hmm.
Right, and
Oh,
the answers
God.
were yes. So, I don't know how to say it, but it was like, it had the word CAM in it, and CAM, uh, wait, no, CAY. CAY means gay, or but if you had different accent marks on it, which I forgot about, right, it means a completely different word,
Mhm.
right? And
What
the
did you
answer
did you say about your mom?
so the answers were, orange, heart, and then I forgot what the other two. The other two don't matter at this point, right? So I was like, oh, it's gay, which is meant stands for tree. So I'm gonna put orange, and so they graded that test, and all my friends and I, literally everybody in the class, had that same answer, but I was the only one who got called out for it, right? And then my mom, with the other principal, they were grading the exam, and they called me out of class one day, and they're like, "Michelle, come here." And I was like, "What's wrong? I didn't do anything this time," right?
This
I was
time.
I was a troublemaker, and they're like, "Hey, can you explain what this sentence says?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's like I love trees with with all the oranges." So that's what I translated it to. But they're like, "No, the sentence was I love my mom with all my blank, and you're supposed to pick heart." And I didn't know what heart was. It was TIEM with this TM. And I was like, I've never heard of that word because we don't speak Vietnamese at home.
Well,
But every other kid did.
that that's not fair then.
No, it's not, and they knew
They're
it, but
expecting
I was like,
to take
"Okay,
a
you know
test
what?
where
I'll
you
be the
don't
guinea
know.
pig." Yes, exactly, but so I
Your mom's like, "Am I not your heart? I am
Yes,
your heart."
exactly. Well, in my defense, right, oranges were my favorite, fruits,
Okay.
and so I was like, "Well, if it says love and it says oranges, I mean, I love
You're gonna
oranges,
say
so
you love oranges.
I'm
So
not admitting to anything."
now you just said you were a troublemaker, but you
Yes,
also said that your Jinx's twin is like sweet and everything, and
yes.
Jinx is the troublemaker, but your the twin is like you. But maybe there's a little Jinx in you.
Yes, there is a lot of jinx in me, right? Because when I was growing up, right, Asian families at least, the dads, they never show any form of love and affection, right? And I actually made a bunch of reels this week with my parents, showing that kind of ish, right? And so I was a troublemaker growing up because I was desperate for attention from my parents. I didn't cause trouble as much outside of the house, right? But at home, I was like a brat, and
Okay.
so
Again,
so.
it might child thing too. My sister was like the rebel, the little troublemaker
Mhm.
growing up. She kind of paved the way for me and my brother so we can get away
Yes.
more. So,
Yes, that was actually my entire childhood growing up was I intentionally did stuff. And I know earlier I said my parents tried really hard to be American. Back
mhm.
at home they try to be more traditional, but at the same time I was growing up American. Uh she's grooming herself. I was growing
Yes.
up American, and I wasn't allowed to go out with my friends.
Hmm.
I wasn't allowed to leave the house. I wasn't allowed to have a phone, and that's why I caused trouble, so that we
Yeah.
could have access to that stuff. I didn't get my first phone
You
until
know,
8th grade, and my sister got hers at like 5th grade.
younger,
Yeah,
right?
very much
Everything's
younger.
really unfair when you're first child.
Yes, yes, that's
I
definitely.
hear that story a lot about parents who come here and are bullied and
Mm,
mocked, and so their children do not know anything about the language, food, a lot of the time,
mm,
culture,
mm,
because you want to make sure your children are never made fun of
mhm.
for that. And
Yep.
I understand it. I get it. My parents, they were like, no, you guys are gonna all know Korean no matter what. Yeah, and we had to go to Korean school. My grandmom lived with us, so
Mhm.
there's no way that we weren't going to speak Korean. But
Yeah.
my Korean's a little over the years. I'm like, I don't really remember that much. It's okay. My Korean's not terrible. But so earlier you also talked about your brother
Mm.
being deaf. You're also part of the deaf and hard of hearing community.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And were you born hard of hearing or did it
Yes.
develop?
No, oh, no, I was born with this hereditary trait that we don't have the hair in our ear needed for perfect hearing. And
Uh,
so it was interesting because I wasn't diagnosed until I was in 1st grade. And then when they did that, they're like, "Huh, Jason actually shows the same trait." So they tested him as well.
mhm,
And he got diagnosed in kindergarten. And so that's when we actually got our first hearing aids. And the hearing community, like for me, I was always the black sheep, right? So in every single world that I'm in, the Asian community, the deaf community, or I'm deaf and hard of hearing, and the same as the neurodivergent community was, I'm always in the middle of everything. So I'm not fully accepted into any community because I'm not fully deaf, or I'm not
Mhm.
hard of hearing enough. People come up with weird things, or I'm
Yeah,
not
people will find
ADHD
things.
enough,
Yeah.
right? And then you can't really see right now, but I have curly hair. And so in the Asian community, they didn't like that. They hated that. And so they're like, she's not Vietnamese because she has curly hair, and she's not the perfect child, or blah 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 blah. And I was just like, it was hard with all of that. And so the deaf and hard of hearing community is very interesting in that aspect
Mhm.
of, you're not fully deaf, so you're not
You're
in
not
our community.
enough to be,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, which is, it's, you hear that about people who are mixed race. They're always,
Yes.
I can, now when you say you had a whole identity crisis,
Mhm.
it yeah, it makes sense because
Yep.
there's so many factors with the ADHD and
Mhm.
hard of hearing and
Mhm.
being female and
Yep.
being Asian.
Yep.
So, but you're doing it. You've got your business, you've
Yep.
got your family, you've
Mhm.
got your pets, and you're always highlighting other Asian businesses, which I think is
Yes.
amazing. Um,
Highlighting and getting other names out there is something that I want to do, because for me, at least growing up, I was always hidden in the background, even though I think I was hidden in the background. I know I wasn't, right? And I'm saying that because when I was trying to find my own identity, I was constantly re- finding things that I wanted to give back to the community. So like for example, in high school, I started a community service club. We didn't have one at the time, and it was a long fight for it. Would I have given up? No, because I knew that we had to go out there and do something. Otherwise, what are all these kids gonna do? Are they just gonna sit at home all day and find something else to do, or can they go out and help serve the community? And community for me, I never was fully established into one because I was always the black sheep. And so now that's what I'm trying to build. It's not for myself, but it's for other people. Was
mhm.
I want to highlight all these people so that we can build a bigger Asian community here. And I feel like that's been growing a lot lately. So that's actually one of my big projects with two other business owners, Michaela Makes and Jasmine Designs, is we created something called oh no, I'm looking at the
After,
affirmation project.
yeah,
And
I
yes, Rachel is actually one of the companies or businesses that we've highlighted. And
thank you.
I
I'm
I
very honored.
yes, I love talking to everybody and learning about them as well. It wasn't just a post and run. It was me trying to establish my relationship with everybody, and like, you know what? It's not, I'm not by myself anymore. And when I'm talking to all these people, when I'm spreading all the word, it just makes me happy. And I actually didn't think anybody would be interested. I was very nervous. And so I didn't think anybody would follow, but a lot of people did. And I was like, this is very shocking,
Well,
right?
what
'Cause
you're doing is great.
it
It's
is.
yeah, you're supporting other people and
Mhm.
you are getting to know them. Just like we do on social intercourse, you're getting to know someone on a deeper level,
Mhm.
connecting and making a difference in the world.
Mhm.
So I think that's great. um, I wanted to show everybody what I have. When I first met you, I got this.
Yes.
And um, this is because I don't have plants. I didn't get a planter, but this was like and you put anything, I use it as decoration.
Mhm.
It's a tray. I broke this one. I broke it the day I got it, but this is another one. But unfortunately, we are nearing the end of the show. So, can you tell us where we can find you or how to order your products, where people can go?
Yes, you can come find me at justjinxd.com. It's gonna be JustJinxd. .com. It means the bottom down here. And then that's all my social medias as well, except for Instagram. It has an underscore between Just and Jinx, and that's where you can find me.
And then you do a lot, if you're local, you can go onto Michelle's Instagram or website. You'll say what pop-ups you go to, right?
Hmm I
Yeah,
had that at the top of the thing, but I'm not doing anything. It's summer,
too
and
hot.
unfortunately, cement is very finicky, so I can't
So
make
if
a
you're
lot.
local during the winter and when it's not too hot,
Yep.
go find Michelle and her product. Support the small local businesses.
Mhm.
And thank you so much for being here today and
Thank you for having me.
sharing. And um, to everyone who always joins each week, I appreciate it. If you can subscribe, like, comment, this little show it means a lot to us. So I will see you all next week.